Yeah, it's here in the stack somewhere. I'll find it. Dr. Krauthammer on Fox News. Special report, Brett Baer last night. This is his opinion on the fundraising totals that I spent exactly 1 hour ago explaining to you. And if you missed it, we're going to post the table with all the money and the type of donors that all the candidates have raised so far, Democrats and Republicans. But here's Dr. Krauthammer's take.
You do have to wonder about the people who've been sending money to Donald Trump.
73,000.
They must be very committed. I think that's really quite remarkable. He, of course, doesn't need it. I think the only numbers that really stand out here are Ben Carson, who's an amazing fundraising machinist, is from an enormous number of small donors. He doesn't have the big fat catch.
Once again, you have a shock and surprise here in many sectors of the Republican establishment and even conservative media over the amount of money Trump's getting. Krauthammer was taken aback. Trump has not asked for any money. He said he's spending his own. It's thought that he has $10 billion. And still 73,000 people have sent him money. And I think this is given the way people in politics think, that fact, 73,000 people have contributed a total of almost $3.9 million to Donald Trump. That's what tells them that Trump's support is real. They're shocked. You heard it in Dr. Krauthammer's voice. They must be very committed. It's really quite remarkable. So up until now, there must have been some question about how strong Trump's support really was. The polling data must not be telling the whole story. But when they hear that 73,000 people have given an average of $38 to total $2.9 or $3 million, they go, whoa! And then they're really blown away by how much money Ben Carson's raised. They look at Ben Carson and they see somebody that can barely be heard. He's so soft-spoken. He's not a professional politician. He doesn't have a professional political apparatus. And it boggles the mind. And, of course, the chosen candidate or the preferred candidate in this mix is Jeb Bush. And he's got just barely over half the amount of money that Ben Carson's raised. And Jeb has professional fundraisers. Jeb has professional donors. Jeb has the cream of the crop designed to collect money. Ben Carson, neophyte in terms of his experience in politics. The difference is, in the case of both Trump and Carson, it's the voters that are giving money, not professionals, not professional fundraisers. Well, Carson might have hired some professional fundraisers, but vast majority of people giving to Trump are not even being asked to. They're doing it on their own. And Ben Carson's 77% of the money that Carson's raised, people giving less than $200 and they're enthusiastic. And this is boggling the minds of the inside the establishment professionals. They've always believed to get that kind of money, you got to go get the big donors. You got to get the corporate guys. You've got to get the rich, the creme de la creme. And Ben Carson's getting his money from the equivalent of Tea Party types. This just doesn't compute. But let me repeat this again, because these are the numbers you have to know. Bernie Sanders, $26 million. 77% of that $26 million comes from people who've donated less than $200. That $26 million is bigger, roughly equal to the amount of money that Jeb Bush, Chris Christie, John Kasich, and Lindsey Graham have raised. But Bush, Christie, Kasich, and Graham have generated that total with far fewer people, far fewer donors. So just in terms of the numbers of people giving their $26 million to Bernie Sanders versus the number of people giving $26 million to the combined Bush, Christie, Kasich, Graham category, it's not even close. The numbers of Democrats dwarf the number of people. So no matter how you slice this, it's not good for the Republican establishment. It takes 4 of their candidates to equal what Bernie Sanders has raised. And they might think it's good that it's taken far fewer people, but that's actually not nearly as much support from actual voters as are sidling up to Democrat candidates here.